Hello and welcome to the news on NTAi International, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemuye and my sign language interpreter is NTAi. First, let's begin with the headlines. President Tinubu on working visit to Kaduna State inaugurates legacy projects. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps pledges intense intelligence to curb further attacks in Benue State. Plus, Rwanda and the DRC Congo agreed to a peace deal scheduled to take place on 27th June 2025 in Washington. Once again, I thank you so much for joining us. Now, President Bola Tinubu, who is in Kaduna State on a one-day working visit, inaugurated a number of projects executed by the state government. The president also inaugurated 100 compressed natural gas CNG buses aimed at enhancing intra-city transportation, reducing urban pollution, and offering cost-effective commuting options for residents across Kaduna metropolis.
Of Kaduna State. I am particularly impressed with the peaceful atmosphere prevailing in this state. This is sharply in contrast with the tense and toxic atmosphere when I visited this state in the year 2022. I have it on good authority that we can move to bringing glory today around midnight without fear of attack.
Now, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, has expressed profound appreciation to President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his timely visit to Benue State, despite his tight schedules, assuring that he will work with all key stakeholders to bring lasting peace to the state in line with his directives. The SGF commended the president's courageous initiative to witness firsthand the incessant conflicts faced by the state and to reaffirm the government's dedication to resolve the ongoing conflicts. During his visit, the president engaged with key stakeholders at a town hall meeting where crucial matters towards tackling the lingering killings in the bud were ironed to restore peace in the state. To find lasting solution to the killings in the state, Mr. President has directed the SGF to coordinate the formation of the committee of key stakeholders to fast-track the process of restoring enduring peace in the affected parts of the state in line with his renewed hope agenda. In the meantime, Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin says he stands with President Tinubu in demanding the arrest of perpetrators of killings in Benue State, stressing that only justice can create some comfort for the victims. Speaker Abbas commends President Tinubu for showing leadership by visiting Benue State for on-the-spot assessment of the situation. He emphasizes that the service chiefs and security forces are now bound by the presidential order to go after the suspects and prosecute them. While condemning the barbaric attack on lives and livelihoods in Benue State, Speaker Abbas expresses hope that the victims will get justice with the latest presidential directives. And the Progressive Governors Forum says President Bola Tinubu's security approach to ending incessant killings in Benue State and parts of country conforms with the resolution of the 20 states governors on the platform of the governing party. The forum commends President Tinubu for his assuring speech and swift detail of chiefs of security services to deploy measures of contacting the breakdown of law.
We are satisfied with the position of Mr. President on his planned action to stop further killings and violence, not only in Benue State, but almost in every part of the country. And arising from that, we just rose from a meeting where we also discussed the state of the nation and the need for the subnational governments to take security up to the rural communities, to give the ownership of manning the communities and all the entire country to our citizens, citizenship protection.
Governor Hope Uzodinma describes the president's directives on the creation of state police, transformation of grazing reserves and other steps to restore peace as highly commendable. Now, in the wake of the recent killings in Yelwata Guma local government area of Benue State, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has pledged to intensify intelligence operations aimed at apprehending perpetrators and preventing further bloodshed. In a statement by the Corps' spokesperson, Afolabi Babawale, the Commandant General Ahmed Audi expressed deep sorrow over the brutal killing of defenseless women and children. He condoled with the grieving community and the Governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Alia, and directed the immediate scaling up of intelligence gathering and operational activities in the state. Dr. Audi also pledged to work hand in hand with the military, the Department of State Services, the Nigeria Police, local vigilante groups and other community stakeholders to ensure a coordinated and robust response to criminal threats. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has assured that the military under the Tinubu administration will continue to enjoy support with equipment and policies that will strengthen intelligence gathering and promote the welfare of personnel. The minister led media chief executives at an expanded media engagement to mark the second anniversary of the service chiefs in Abuja. Saliu Abdullah Iguana reports.
A video documentary showcasing the sacrifices of the military and faces of some lucky surviving gallant troops welcomes the media chiefs led by the government spokesman. This event is in recognition of the media as the fourth estate of the realm that is also saddled with the enormous task of reporting security situation as the nation galvanizes efforts aimed to strengthen national security for peace and prosperity.
Let me also convey the commendation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to our service chiefs for their unshakable commitment, discipline, and patriotism in the discharge of their duties. 2 years ago, when these officers were appointed, Nigeria faced a complex matrix of security challenges. Yet, under the strategic leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs, we have witnessed not just a containment of these threats, but a visible reclaiming of our national space physically, psychologically, and operationally.
He equally wants the media to complement the sacrifices of the gallant troops and stop glorifying the activities of terrorists.
As Minister of Information and National Orientation, I've always insisted that security reporting must be responsible, factual, and nation-focused. We must resist, like I said earlier, the temptation to sensationalize or unintentionally serve the agenda of our adversaries.
The spirit of synergy being promoted within the Nigerian Armed Forces, stakeholders here agreed will add value to their operational capacity and capability while promoting unity in the fight against all forms of criminality. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullah Iguanara, NTAi News.
The Armed Forces of Nigeria has underscored the urgent need for robust civil-military partnership in the face of Nigeria's complex security challenges from terrorism and banditry to cyber threats and communal conflicts. The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa re-echoed this at the maiden annual Defense Headquarters Civil-Military Relations Conference in Abuja. Let's have details from Olajide Bello.
The armed forces of Nigeria have increasingly recognized the vital role of civil-military relations in effectively combating insecurity across the nation. Beyond the conventional battlefield, the military now engages more closely with civilian communities to build trust, gather intelligence, and foster collaboration. This approach acknowledges that lasting security could not be achieved through force alone, but requires the cooperation and goodwill of the populace.
This conference, therefore, is not a one-off event, but a strategic initiative, conceptualized to become an annual platform for honest engagement, thoughtful reflection, and practical collaboration. The overchanging goal is to win hearts and minds, and shift from a purely kinetic, force-based approach to one that prioritizes trust, building respect for human rights, and community partnership.
It is an avenue to advance non-kinetic strategies and tools of peace, dialogue, outreach, and public engagement that can restore trust and rebuild the vital bridge between the military and the civilians we are sworn to serve.
A key aspect of these civil-military relation efforts is the implementation of humanitarian interventions and quick impact projects in conflict-affected areas. Olajide Bello, NTAi News.
Nigeria has formally launched her campaign for election into Category C membership of the International Maritime Organization IMO Council for 2026 to 2027 biennium. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adegboyega Oyetola, who flagged off the campaign on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, informed delegates that a vote for Nigeria is a vote for balanced decision-making in global maritime governance. Chukunonso Wabueze reports.
The flagger, which was on the sidelines of the 110th section of the Maritime Safety Committee at headquarters of the International Maritime Organization IMO in London, drew huge audience, including the Secretary General of the IMO, Asensio Dominguez, as well as permanent representatives, alternate permanent representatives, diplomats, and maritime delegates from over 120 IMO member states. Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adegboyega Oyetola used the platform to underscore Nigeria's strategic maritime relevance and renewed commitment to global shipping governance, with great emphasis on the nation's unwavering dedication to the mandate.
We believe that a vote for Nigeria is a vote for representation, collaboration, and balanced decision-making in global maritime governance. We stand ready to work with all member states to build a safer, greener, and more inclusive maritime future.
Oyetola spotlighted Nigeria's acclaimed Deep Blue project as a model of maritime security innovation. Coordinated by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, the multi-layered initiative integrates air, land, and sea assets to protect Nigeria's maritime domain. Its implementation, the minister noted, has resulted in zero piracy incidents in Nigeria's territorial waters over the past 3 years, a milestone that has drawn global commendation.
Nigeria has also ratified and domesticated key IMO instruments and continues to undertake national reforms to align with the evolving global maritime standard. We are currently in the process of ratifying additional conventions, including those on greenhouse gas emissions, biofouling, and maritime labor protection.
He further stated that gender equity remains a priority for Nigeria as deliberate efforts are being made to empower women in maritime, supporting initiatives that encourage female seafarers, port professionals, and maritime leaders. Highlighting Nigeria's demographic advantage and human capital potential, Oyetola noted that with a population exceeding 240 million, 60% of whom are under the age of 19, Nigeria is not only a regional maritime leader, but a future-ready partner. Chukunonso Wabueze, NTAi News.
Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says she will retain her focus on initiatives that promote the health and education of women and girls, describing such moves as pathways to improving the health of all Nigerians. She was speaking at the 13th anniversary and 7th MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. State House correspondent at NTAi reports.
With a strong history of partnering to promote women's health and well-being, the 13th anniversary and 7th MEC Foundation First Ladies Initiative Summit in Dubai seeks to re-emphasize the Foundation's programs and explore areas of further collaboration with various African countries through their First Ladies. Speaking along First Ladies of 13 other nations, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, who was recently appointed as ambassador for Make More Than a Mother campaign, notes that empowering girls through education plays a crucial role in building stronger and healthier nations.
Your recent visit to my office in Nigeria provided an in-depth insight into the impactful and well-driven programs of Merck Foundation, and I'm inspired by all the great work you have been doing.
She applauds the efforts of Merck Foundation, which has been supporting healthcare through the provision of scholarship to medical doctors and medical professionals from Africa and Asia in the last 13 years.
Under the Merck Foundation Nationwide Diabetes Blue Points program, 39 scholarships are being provided for our young doctors from different states in Nigeria for oncology research, 1-year diploma and 2-year master's degree in diabetes, endocrinology, preventive cardiovascular, cardiology, and obesity and weight management.
I believe this gathering is far more than a summit. It is a powerful symbol of what we can accomplish when we unite for a shared vision and a purpose, that everyone should be able to lead a healthy and happy life.
Every doctor who graduates, and you all know, when they go back to their countries, they see more than 1,000 patients, treat more than 1,000 patients per month.
Other African First Ladies present all emphasized the role of African women in domestic and public spheres, despite all the challenges they face culturally and financially. Already, their foundation has provided scholarships for 2,270 medical practitioners from 52 countries in 44 critical areas of healthcare, and the community awareness program, which includes breaking the infertility stigma, ending gender-based violence and hypertension, among others. NTAi, NTAi News.
You're watching the news on NTAi International. We will be taking a break now. We'll be back in a moment. Just stay with us. As the Israeli-Iranian conflict rages, nations of the world are brazen to begin evacuating their nationals from both countries. Let's have details from Kolo Mohammed.
Recent images around Tehran show empty streets as Israel and Iran continue to exchange fire in their most intense confrontation in history, fueling fears of a drawn-out conflict that could engulf the Middle East. Iran launched a fresh salvo of missiles at Israel on Thursday with a hospital hit, as President Donald Trump warned he was weighing U.S. military action in the conflict. President Trump earlier said the fall of Iranian leadership could happen. This decision, analysts say, is one very big one. The rest of the world wait eagerly for the route it is planned to take.
It could happen, right? Of that? Sure, that could happen. Yeah, I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war. Things change with war. It can go from...
In other news, animated satellite images released by the Cooperative Institute of Research in the Atmosphere at Colorado State University show Hurricane Eric over Mexico's Pacific coast. Eric strengthened to a powerful Category 3 storm, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said, warning of potentially deadly floods in the coming days. Kolo Muhammad, NTAi.
At a joint statement released by the nations of Rwanda and the DRC, alongside the mediator, U.S. State Department say a peace agreement between DRC and Rwanda will be signed on 27th June 2025 in Washington. Again, Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
DRC and Rwanda have agreed to the terms of the deal aimed at ending fighting in eastern Congo. Congo has accused Rwanda of backing M23 rebels in the east of the country. United Nations experts say the rebels are supported by about 4,000 troops from the neighboring nation. The decades-long conflict escalated in January when the M23 rebels advanced and seized the strategic Congolese city of Goma, followed by the town of Bukavu in February. The draft agreement includes provisions on respect for territorial integrity and the prohibition of hostilities, disengagement and disarmament, and conditional integration of non-state armed groups. Both countries have in the past held talks that have largely stalled, including talks hosted by Qatar. M23 is one of about 100 armed groups vying for a foothold in mineral-rich eastern Congo near the border with Rwanda. The conflict is said to have created one of the world's worst humanitarian crises and had displaced more than 7 million people. Kolo Muhammad, NTAi News.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology, CAICT, have signed a landmark memorandum of understanding to co-design the Africa Digital Empowerment and Innovation Hub, marking a significant step toward accelerating digital transformation across the continent. Signed on the sidelines of the 4th China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo, the MOU reflects a shared commitment to inclusive, resilient and sustainable digital development in Africa. This partnership with CAICT is a bold step towards realizing Africa's digital future, says Ahuna Eziakoma, Assistant UN Secretary General and Director of UNDP Regional Bureau for Africa. By combining UNDP's development expertise with CAICT's technological leadership, we are laying the foundation for people-centered digital transformation aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. The Africa Digital Empowerment and Innovation Hub will serve as a collaborative platform to co-create digital solutions, build institutional and human capacity, and promote South-South cooperation. It will leverage open-source technologies, digital public goods, and local innovations to modernize Africa's digital ecosystem. Now, the federal government says the purpose of the renewed Hope Food Security policies to achieve self-sufficiency in the production of staple foods consumed by Nigerians. In support for this goal, the Ministry of Finance, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, is promoting increased investment to enhance the nation's food production capabilities. Musa Babaliu has the details.
The Federal Ministry of Finance Incorporated is developing a roadmap to secure increased funding and investment in Nigerian agriculture. The initiative includes the launch of Integranium, which aims to promote climate resilience in food production, reduce post-harvest losses, and encourage processing and export. This forum, therefore, examined the prospects and strategies for achieving the food security initiative.
We are focused on mobilizing investments. We are focused on ensuring that agriculture is not just about a social impact. It is an investment opportunity. It is about mobilizing capital that will allow us to invest across the value chain. And of course, for us to succeed, we need to work with all the existing ecosystem players.
In addition to ensuring that citizens are well fed, there is also a goal to position Nigeria among the leading food exporters globally. This effort aligns with President Tinubu's vision for enhancing Nigeria's food security and agricultural prosperity.
So we've been able to work with certain countries, about 2-3 of them, where we have established some measure of understanding in regards to the steps that we will be able to demonstrate from a traceability perspective that will enable them to be able to accept our produces for sale in their countries.
In a supportive response, the Nigerian Governors Forum has embraced the initiative and expressed readiness to implement and replicate it at the state level. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTAi News.
The prosecution has concluded its case after the presentation of the 5th witness to testify against the leader of the proscribed IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, in the alleged terrorism trial. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyebi reports.
The Prosecution Counsel, Adegboyega Awomulo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, concluded its case with the presentation of reports on NSAS allegedly linking Nnamdi Kanu to the killing of more than 200 police officers, military personnel, DSS officers, and destruction of 164 police stations and 9 NEC facilities. The court admitted the report in evidence. The witness, who said he led a team of photographers to about 20 states of the Federation where the destructive incidences were recorded, attributing them to insightful comments made by the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, before, during, and after the NSAS protest. Led in evidence, the witness said he collected reports from heads of security outfits in 17 states and death reports from hospitals on the dead people. During cross-examination, the defense counsel, Ikpeazu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, challenged the credibility of the reports and the basis for linking Kanu to the NSAS unrest. He asked whether the witness investigated the defendant himself, but he said he didn't. Ikpeazu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, pressed further, querying whether Kanu's statements were directly tied to the NSAS protest or IPOB activities. He added that while the protests were driven by organic issues like police brutality, they were hijacked by subversive elements who incited violence against the state. Pressed on the details of the report, the witness admitted that he could not identify any page directly attributing deaths to IPOB members. Ikpeazu pointed out several shortcomings in the report, such as lack of dates on photographs, absence of a signature from the witness, and missing details such as the names or towns of the deceased or the medical examiners. The witness admitted the report did not bear his personal signature and that the report was certified by him only in his capacity as the secretary, not author. At the end of the cross-examination, the prosecution counsel, Adegboyega Awomulo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, said he has succeeded in presenting the evidence relating to all the counts preferred against the defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, and urged the court to grant his prayers. The defendant counsel, Kanu Agabi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, made a no-case submission and told the court that they would proceed to address the court on it. The court gave each party 14 days to address the court.
And this is where we end the news on NTAi International. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemunya. Shegun Ajayi has been the sign language interpreter.